President Donald Trump has recently initiated an unprecedented shakeup of the U.S. military leadership, firing multiple top-ranking officers in what administration officials describe as an effort to realign the Pentagon with their national security priorities. This move has sparked intense debate, with critics calling it dangerous and supportive arguing it is necessary for military efficiency. Trump's decision to dismiss several high ranking military officials has sent shockwaves through the defense community. Here are the key figures affected by the sudden shakeup. General C.Q. Brown Jr., Chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff, the nation's highest-ranking military officer and the only second black general to hold this position, was dismissed on February 21, 2025. General Brown played a crucial role in overseeing ongoing conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East. Despite his expertise, the Trump administration, determined he did not align with their strategic objectives, has removed his stability in the military leadership at a crucial time for national security. Administration Lisa Fanchett, Chief of Naval Operations, the first woman to lead U.S. military services. Administration was fired. Defense Secretary Peter Hedges criticized her in his recent book, labeling her as a DEI hire, referring to diversity equity, the inclusion DEI programs that the administration has aggressively opposed. This dismissal has added to the controversial surrounding the administration stance on diversity in military leadership. General Jim Seifer, Air Force Vice Chief of Staff, a decorated leader with strong background in special operations. General Seifer was also removed from his position. His dismissal came alongside the firing of three General Advocate Generals, JAGs, responsible for overseeing military justice in the Army, Navy, and Air Force. Five other Admiral Generals, while their identities were not fully disclosed, sources confirmed that these officers were 3- and 4-star officials who had significant influence in the Pentagon. The removal suggests a broader effort to reshape the military leadership according to Trump's vision. This wave of dismissals marked one of the most significant military leadership purges in modern U.S. history. Administration rationale? The Trump's administration has defended these actions as necessary to ensure that the military leadership is aligned with its national security objectives. Here are the key justifications provided. Anti-woke campaign. Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth have framed the shakeup as part of a broad effort to eliminate what they call woke influences in the military. They argue the diversity, equity, and the inclusion of DEI initiatives have weakened military readiness. Trump has been outspoken against such policies, claiming they focus too much on social issues rather than military strength. General Brown's removal was seen as a direct result of his support for radical equity efforts following the murder of George Floyd. His advocacy for addressing radical disparities within the military made him a target for administration that is actively rolling back such activities. According to Hegseth, the firing affected Trump's desire to surround himself with leaders who fully support his vision, the administration's foreign policy agenda, including a more aggressive military posture and focus on broader security. To achieve these goals, Trump believes he needs a military leadership team that is completely in sync with his administration. Retired Lieutenant General Dan Kane has been nominated to replace General Brown Kane, an F-16 pilot with extensive counterterrorism experience, is seen as someone who will fully support the administration policies. However, his nomination has already faced criticism due to his lack of experience in leading large-scale military operations. Presidential claims that Hegseth has attempted to justify these actions by pointing to historical precedents. He cites past presidents, including Barack Obama, who dismissed General David McKinley in 2009. However, critics argue that while leadership changes are normal, The scale and nature of these firings are unprecedented and politically motivated. Reactions and implications. The sudden leadership overhaul has triggered widespread reactions from both political and military circles. The Democratic condemnation. Many Democratic lawmakers have strongly opposed these firings. Senator Jack Reed, DRI, called them an example of our military, arguing that they are undermine trust stability within the armed forces. Representative South Moulton, DMA, a former Marine, described the move as a dangerous for national security, warning it could weaken military morale and effectiveness. Institutional upheaval. The timing of these dismissals has raised concern. General Brown was removed just hours after visiting the U.S. Mexico border, a major priority for Trump's administration. This suggests that the decision may have been influenced by political considerations rather than pure military factors. Additionally, with ongoing conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East, the removal of experienced leaders could disrupt continuing in military operations. Critics urge that such instability could put American troops and global alliances at risk. Retired officers concerned that many retired military leaders have also expressed their concerns. Former General George Casey, who was commander of the U.S. forces in Iraq, warned that these moves are extremely destabilizing. He acknowledged that the president has the authority to replace military leaders, but cautioned that doing so on such a large scale could damage the long-term effectiveness of the armed forces. So what's next? The consequences of these firings are still unfolding, and there are several key developments to watch for in the coming weeks. Confirmation challenges. Retired Lieutenant General Kane, Trump's nominee to replace General Brown, faces a difficult path to confirmation. He does not meet the traditional requirements for the role, such as experience in leading or combatant command. His appointment will require a Senate waiver, and given the current political climate, this process is expected to be highly contentious. Further firing expected, Defense Secretary hinted that more dismissals may be on the horizon. The administration has reportedly identified additional senior military leaders they believe should be replaced. There are also plans to cut 5,300 civilian Pentagon jobs and redirect $50 billion in defense spending. This potential changes could further reshape the structure and prioritize the U.S. military. Partisan divide. This military shakeup is deepening the already sharpened political divisions in Washington. Trump's allies urged that these moves will result in a leaner mission focused on force rather than align with this administration vision. On the other hand, critics warn that these actions undermine key military norms and could have long-lasting consequences for the stability of the armed forces. In conclusion, this restructuring marks one of the most dramatic overhauls of military leadership in modern U.S. history. Underscores President Trump's assertive has used executive powers and is determined to reshape the military to fit his administration's objectives. However, the long-term impact of these changes remains uncertain. Will they strengthen the military as Trump claims, or will they lead to instability and weaken defense capabilities? Only time will tell.